Bonjour to our Techi friends in Malta and hello to everyone. This is our next tutorial in our series on web scraping using Python. I'm Scrappy and this is World Web Scraping. There we go. Hello and welcome to World Web Scraping. So in today's video we are going to talk about how to use proxies with your request module and why do we need proxies. So let's get started. Specifically, today we are going to talk about HTTP proxies, and so there are two kinds of proxies basically. There are HTTP proxies and there is a SOCKS proxy. So SOCKS proxies we are going to talk another time. Today we are going to talk about HTTP proxy. So whenever you are trying to scrap a website, most websites have security systems in place which blocks bots and scrapers from scraping data from their websites. Most of the websites does not want their data to be scrapped from websites, and for that reason we need to use proxies to avoid getting blocked, and using proxies is a great way to avoid getting a block. So what proxy will do is, mostly not only proxies, we have to keep rotating our IP addresses, and so what that will do is that will make us invisible to the security system of the website. It will pretend us like there is not a single user who is continuously hitting their server. Instead, there are multiple users from multiple locations which are accessing the data, so that will seem a genuine request and not web scraper or bot. So that's the idea behind using proxies. So request module is a very flexible model and a very good module for sending requests, and we can set our user agent. We have seen in our previous tutorials we can set our user agent. You can set our cookies and headers. So the same way we can set up proxies also with a request module. So guys, in this tutorial there are free proxies are available and all over the internet, and you can search for them in Google. Search and go to for free proxies, and you will get a lot of websites there. One such website I have mentioned here, freeproxylist.net, and you can take some free proxies out of there. And the disadvantage of using free proxies, this is that they generally have a very short life span because there are a lot of users using those proxies. So they get blocked very fast. So if you are using a proxy, if you are taking a proxy from the free list, it is not going to be as reliable, and it generally after one or two requests you will not be able to use that proxy. And also these free proxies are used by thousands of people. So because of that, the speed of these free proxies is very slow, and it will make your request very slow. So to avoid these things, if you are just doing scrapping from your personal users, you can use free proxies. And I will actually tell you a way today that instead of going to that website and copy pasting proxies, how we will create a function today which will actually scrap the proxies from that website. And it will give us a list of proxies, so we don't have to go through that website. We can keep running the script and like one or two or view proxies from the list. And if you are using web scraping for some professional work, if scraping is kind of your business or something like that, and if you need to gather a large of amount of data, you need to use proxies. So there are paid proxies available which you can search again in the Google, and you can go those websites which provide free proxies. Also those websites also having a lot of other functionality, like they will give you some API, and if you send a request to the API, what will happen? They will change your proxy and they will keep rotating the AP addresses. They will keep on rotating user agent, cookies, and everything. They will take care of all of those things, and they make sure that your request actually goes through and you don't get blocked. So there is a great advantage to using the paid services. So you can check that out of if you need that. So let's get into the code. So I'm just importing our request library, and this is the URL that I'm trying to access this website. This is just for demo purpose, just to show that how proxies work, and I'm defining my proxies here. So this is a proxy that I have taken from this website, and so there are two protocols that you basically can assign HTTP and HTTPS. You must be aware of those. And so I'm assigning two different proxies here, and I'm creating a dictionary basically. And in this dictionary I have two proxies, and then what I'm doing is I'm sending a GET request. I'm defining my URL, which I define here, and assigning my proxies is equal to proxies. So this dictionary that I created, I'm assigning it to proxies here. So that's how you can do, like the same way we did for the user agent, we did for our headers, right? You remember we defined the dictionary for our headers, and we put that dictionary as a parameter into the get method. Same way we can assign proxies in a dictionary, and we can put that proxy as a parameter into our get methods. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm not going to run this cell because this proxy, when I created this code yesterday at the time, this proxy was working. Now it will not be working, so if you are going to show me an error, so I'm not going to run this cell. But if I run this cell and print response.json, so it is going to show me that what was the origin of my request. So it is going to show me the proxy that I used and not my IP address. So that's what is this response.json do. So to confirm that your process and work, you can do this and write print response.json and do it. So if you want to run this code, go to this website and just refresh it. Just go to this website, and they have existed free proxies all over. You just go to this website and just copy the IP address and port, and you use that here. And this is the IP address, and this is the port that you have to put. And if your proxy works, then this code will work fine. If your proxy doesn't work, it is going to show you an error, and so that means that you have to change your proxy because that proxy has expired actually. So do that. Now to avoid doing it actually that we don't have to go to that website again and get over proxies from there, and also to keep rotating our proxies, like if you are sending multiple requests, so you don't want to send multiple requests from one single proxy. So to do that, we are going to create a function here. In this function, what I'm doing is I'm going to this website and I'm going to scrap data from them. So we have a use request library a lot in the earlier tutorial, so you must know that how to scrap data from this website. So you go to this website and create your own function if you want to, and scrap data from there. So this is the function I'm creating, def get proxies, and passing by URL here. Then I'm sending a request to this URL. Then I'm getting my response out, and here I'm defining proxy set, empty set here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to write a for loop onto this HTML page that I have go out, and I'm going to append my proxy into this set here. So here I'm using .xpath. x.xpath is like in the previous tutorial we have talked about it. .xpath is a selector like we used to do in BS object find all and all that stuff, and we use go to each tag. So that was a method of selecting text using CSS selector. So xpath is another kind of selector. So this is how you can select any text from there. So what I'm doing is I'm telling them to go to tbody. That means because my proxies are in a table. So this is a table, so I'm telling them to go to this tbody, table body, and from there go to a table row. So that's what I'm telling, and I'm telling that up to 100 places under T rows we have to take out, not more than that. You can change it if you can reduce or increase it however you want. Then I'm writing if a statement if I.xpath td contains a text yes. So that just basically means that if I just hide this, So what I'm saying is that if this thing HTTPS, if this is yes, that means the give me that proxy. So that's what I'm telling me for writing in my code here. So in the table row that TD7 contains a text yes, that's what I'm telling there. Right, so this is so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm saying that at the 7th index, if there is a yes, then give me that proxy out. That's what the statement effectively means. You don't need to worry about it. You can use this code as it is, and then what I'm saying, that proxy.join i.xpath. So I need to join by a semicolon. What I need to join is my IP address with the port. So I need to join then with a semicolon, because that's how we write a proxy. There come IP address, and then there comes a semicolon, and then there comes the port. So that's what I'm doing in this line of code, and then adding my proxy back in this proxy set, and finally my function will return with this proxy set. And so if I run this, and then I get my proxy, and it will give me a list of proxies from that website, and then I am creating proxies again here, and now to rotate our proxies that randomly, what we need to do is we need to call this another library, which is called itertools. So this is a library that is going to help us rotate our proxies. So from itertools import cycle, then my proxies is my get proxy, that is a function. I'm getting my proxies out, then proxy pool. I'm calling cycle method from this itertools, and I'm assigning my proxy set that will be created to the cycle method here, and then assigning it back to a variable. So now it is going to iterate over this proxy list for me. Then my URL is again this. So in this URL I'm going to test my proxies for I in range 1 to 10. So I want to send 10 requests. There are a lot of proxies in my set here, if you see, but I don't want to send that many requests. Will take a lot of time. So I'm just sending 10 requests. So for that I have defined this range 1 to 10. Then proxy next proxy pool. So this proxy pool I assigned a variable here. Now this next method is going to extract one proxy randomly out of this proxy pool. It is going to take randomly out of that. So after that, just putting print request, the request number that I'm sending, so it will come request 1 for the first request, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that way. It will go till 9. Then I'm putting my this get request and sending that I am putting that in a try and except block. Why I'm doing that is because if my proxy does not work, then my request is not going to go through, and I will get an error. My program will stop there only. But I don't want my program to stop. I want that it might one proxy does not work, you go to the next proxy, and then go to the next proxy that does not work. So that's how it has to work. So for that I'm writing it try and except block. So in my try block, and putting my get request and sending his request URL. My proxies is my list. I'm defining a dictionary, and this proxy that will be assigned from this here, and assigning that as a value or into this dictionary. And after that I'm printing response.json to show me that if my request worked or not worked. See my request work. It will give me that proxy for which this request has worked. Otherwise it will to this except block and print and it will give me print skipping connection error. That means that my proxy did not work. So that's what it is doing. So let's run the cell, and just be aware it is going to take some time because these proxies are generally slow, and mostly proxies will often get a connection error, and we will have to retry the entire request using another proxy to work. And so see how slow it is in real time. You are seeing it, and this is how slow this ascending request from a free proxy is. And so this is not ideal for sending multiple requests, thousands of requests. If you are scrapping data from some business purpose, or if your business relies on scrapping, like if you have a website, or if you have, say, an app that relies on scrapping data from other websites, then this is not the ideal way. You really need to have a proxy provider, so they provide you paid proxies and you can work through them. Let's just see. It is going to send 9 requests. Let us wait for that and see if any of our proxy actually work in this case or not. You see, guys, 2 of my requests over successfully. You see this request 5 origin, this showing this proxy, and this another request 9, this proxy. Out of 9 that I use, only 2 were successful, so that's what happens with a free proxy. Most of them are expired by the time you use it, but some of them will be successful, and that's what you have to figure out. So that's what's the point of using a loop actually here. And if you are using free services, they will provide their API and they will give you the code also basically, and how to access their API, and you can send the request for the API and you can use that those proxies, and they will not fail. You will get results every time you use that proxies actually. So that's what it is. That's all for today, and this is all about like how to rotate your proxies, how to rotate your free proxies basically, and this is how you can do it. And you can use this iter tool, and cycle it will take out the proxies at random and it will assign the proxies at random. So go through the code and try it on some websites that you want to try. Try using some free proxies. If you have any other websites for free proxies, just go through to that website and try to scrap. See how you can scrap those proxies out and make your own code for that, and then use the iteration tools. So that is all for today, my techie friends. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video tutorial, and do not stop visiting our website. Leave your comments below and ask me any question you have. I will be happy to answer them. Link is given in the description of this video to get code and full material. Stay happy, stay safe, stay techie.